So now we're going to go ahead and put in acid-free folders the work we've done. So we're gonna go ahead and start either end. We can go left to right or right to left. I know if we do this particular piece first, we're going to want to make a copy on the copy machine so that it can be given to obituaries at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, so do you know how to use our copy machine?
No, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
Okay.
Where is it?
It's the big machine. Should she do that work right now?
No, we'll wait.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
Why
would.
don't we do it last then?
Okay, our titles will be what the titles you've already put on, unless we come across something that would be a better title as we go.
Okay, so can we go left to right?
Yeah, and how about if I go from this side and you go from that
And
side?
we both use pencil.
And we
Do you have
both
another
use
one?
pencil. I have tons of pencils.
Okay. And we'll just write it on the label.
Right, and I'm gonna use the same word you used.
Okay, if you can't read it, let me know.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I'd like to note is that this particular collection came to us with 6 boxes, and we've done only half of the box. So in all reasonability, we would, if we had time and the resources, we could sort all 6 boxes into these. We would not lose this categories that you got started when we pursue the rest of the collection. We would still stay with literature and obits and committee work and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just so we all know that's what we would
Now,
do.
as we're going through these documents, we'll be using the bone folder.
Staple, we will do the bone folder, minimal staple remover if it's a group of this many pamphlets.
Yep.
But see how that rust is happening?
Yes, I do.
I'm not sure we'll do all of them, but we may look at it. It's the one, and it's from. Let's see when it's from. 1981, but it's severely rusting. We'll take this one staple out. We'll protect this document, but we'll use the bone folder?
Folder.
Folder, okay,
And
Yes.
we'll remove staples
Yes.
as necessary.
yes.
Now, where do you want to put the folders after we've put
You
them
can
in?
make your stack.
Okay.
Save your label that you've got going on
Yes.
so that I can put it with the rest of the collection that needs to be worked on.
Okay.
And remember, if it's a thick amount of documents that are gonna go in the folder, you wanna use the folding guides on the manila folder
Yes.
and make it approximately the size you're going to need.
Would you say this, I should use the bone folder on?
I
that?
would, that is very creased.
Okay.
And there's going to be some items we pursue or come across that are not going to fit in an 8.5 by 11 folder. And what we'll do is we will use the space on top of the files in the box itself. We will be able to use about 1 inch on top to lay the oversized documents.
I think I'm gonna need some experience with that. It's somewhat.
Yes, at some points I do go ahead and fold and see if I can get some of it out with a manual before. I think with some, they've been boxed, we don't know, 1981, it could have been
Could have been
boxed
in a
and
box.
folded since 1981.
Okay. No staples in these meeting directories.
No staples, that's good. Yeah, if I can manipulate the fold with my fingers, but if it seems like it'll come out with the bone folder, I will use it.
Okay.
But the reason we're doing this is our rule in archives is first, do no harm. So we don't want to continue anything that started or create any folds in anything. Now, one thing I'm going to do now, if I had a metal cutter, there's a notebook that's been put in part of PI, and it is PI. It says check Puyallup Library for display. So it is PI notes in here, but this spiral will affect it. So I'm going to put it in a clear magazine document protector so that the metal of this notebook does not any longer affect the rest of the items in the box that we're sorting.
Wonderful, and I have rusty staples in this, so I'm going to do these
And
staples.
here's your, I'll give you your tools.
Thank you.
And you might make yourself a space on that manila folder, or I can move over so that you can work. And I will put a note on my spiral notebook.
These are quite rusted,
Yes,
so I am going to,
it's a very slow job when it's that bad.
and I am going to get the readers, please, so
Oh,
that I can.
sorry about that.
No worries. These are tricky. Okay, got that up. Enough to cut them. And I'm going to take the cutters and center the cutter over the end that's sticking up that I've just pried up. The little box down there that we're using for the debris.
Okay,
Thank
this
you.
is
Oh,
our
it's a
debris.
can, okay. I'm gonna clean as I go, because I don't want that to damage anything. And so I've got those ends off, and I will pry up the staples. This is painstaking.
Yes.
But, okay, so that's,
You
keep it simple,
you
Seattle.
preserve the kiss.
Yes, I preserved the kiss.
Okay, and what I've done on this stack we had titled when we started PI, I changed the name to committees because we could have more than that in it. And so that's what I've changed it to, is committees. That's the new folder. And now that I've got this, I protected the rest of the collection from the wire, spiral wire. It can fit in there. And then I'll put the rest of the items in. And I'm not taking the documents out of the folder until we do the end collection of all of the documents from this particular person.
I've got more staples. Mary,
Yes.
will you see if you can get this staple up? I'm having trouble with that side, and I don't want to slice the document.
Yep, it's tight.
It's tight.
It's very tight. It's horribly tight. Maybe the other side. Ah. There we go. The other side allowed me, that doesn't mean it'll work every time, the other side let me come under it, but I'll try these two and see if that happens with them too,
Even
cause they look as tight.
the rusty ones that I just did came up fairly easily, but that one staple is,
Wow, these are as tight, Cindy. It's not you.
okay. That's
Not
what I
you at
wanted
all.
to make sure it wasn't me.
No. Okay, we got one up. Praying for the other one now.
Here, let me give it another go. I'll give it another go.
Okay, one more time for me and then I'm gonna pass it back to you. No, I can't get under that one. Might be able to if you look at it that way, Cindy. I don't know if you can get a tip under it or not.
Alright, whoops, we'll try.
Now, the one thing about it
Mm-hmm.
is that we have an entire collection of the 1990 International. And it encompasses over 3 boxes. And most of the AAers in the vicinity volunteered with it, so I do know there are more copies of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that means we should be reckless, but just knowing there are
I
more.
got it.
Oh, all right, great.
It took a while. That's rusty.
I am going to go ahead and put the literature within a folder without taking out the staples, except for one that dates to 1970. But all of these other,
Do those all have staples?
they all have staples. But until we build the literature collection that we're going to have in archives, I'm not going to remove these.
Okay.
So, and that's also in the interest of time for this particular project
Okay.
and our, you know, kind of like what we're shooting for.
Well, this was successfully accomplished.
Okay, and I would say, yours can probably move forward without, don't
Okay.
don't de-staple that part.
Okay.
But we would keep all of them in their, you know, in the state they are, just because they have 3 until later.
Same with this, because this has rusty staples as well.
We're going to, because of, timing, we're going to keep it, and you're gonna keep all 3 of those. Now, the rule in archives is that we have 3 copies. Although, these are all significantly different in what's in them, and we're not going to pause to do 100% inventory on these.
Okay.
We just know this is all 1990, and we will still have preservation needed to be done
Got
on
it.
this box.
Because there are quite a few staples
There's
in
a
this.
lot of staples.
Yes.
In my big projects, I sort all the way down to the final sort of 3 times. And then I go through for preservation, and then after that is the scanning piece.
Okay.
I'm removing this one because I care so much about a 1970 publication.
Now, these folders exceed the size of the folders, at least in width. Is that okay?
Yes, and they're going to still go in. And did you fold your folder at the folded
I
line?
did not do that, thank you.
The only reason I suggest that is because it does make some of those odd fitting ones have a better home.
Yeah, that's much
once we
better.
put them in.
Much better. All right.
Oh, wow. Oh, now I'm supposed to clip them off. Follow the rules, man. Wow.
Did that come out easily? It sounded like it.
They are. I don't know if all AAWS publications are gonna be so nice,
That would be nice.
but you gotta get it right in the center, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Oh, no, I'm supposed to use this tool now. Oh, and with this tool, tool. It literally just moves off.
Now, at this point in the sorting, should we take care to have them all going in the same direction?
Yes,
Like if
I
have-
do.
Okay,
And I try to make all of the edges. You know what I mean?
Yes.
As if you were filing at your house and you want it neat so you can go
yes,
back
you would
through
do
it.
this, yeah, got it,
It's part of what I consider first do no harm.
I like that. I'm gonna use the bone folder if I
Okay.
may.
And then I have some garbage there to put, and I'll put all the collection for that process over there. And then we have Al-Anon. And like you said, the Al-Anon literature is probably here due to the work we do with public information, that we also carry the information of Alateen
Yes,
to anywhere we're doing public information at.
so are you going to combine it with public
Not
information?
at this point, because we may find that there's other reasons she has Alateen and Al-Anon. We
Okay,
may find she was an active participant and it should be in part of her personal papers.
got it.
So we're gonna keep it separate at this time. And like, see how this fragile this piece of paper is already,
Mm-hmm,
right here? Now there's no year. Look at this flyer. The philosophy in our archives
Mhm.
has been if there's no year, you don't save the flyer. Because
Oh.
because of the nature of this collection and how you and I sorted it,
mm-hmm,
I will actually keep this because I feel that it may not have a year, but it has definitely a purpose in her collection because of what else we found in the collection.
got it. I had duplicated a folder here, so
Yeah, so we can reuse it.
I'm still in conferences and events.
Oh, I didn't fold my.
This bone folder is pretty cool,
It is.
yeah.
Now, I have not tried to look for it on Amazon like I did that material you remove the dirt and stuff with.
Yes,
I did look that one up already and buy those, but I haven't looked up a bone holder, yet. So that'll be in my future midnight Amazon searching things. Now I'm coming up to magazines and newspapers.
and I am on conferences and events, so there are quite a few little flyers from different events across the area.
Okay, now. Wow. First on publications, I'm separating them by kind of things.
I'm not organizing mine in any particular fashion. Should I be?
No, because it depends on what you've got, but with magazines, I'm gonna put magazines in one and newspapers in another plastic bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna keep them separate from the rest of the collection, because they're so highly,
Acidic.
yes. So I just want all I know when we number them, and when we container them over in the traveling display, magazines are in one particular grouping, and newsletters are part of graphics. So
Oh, okay.
I'm having to use not just the scope of the collection, but I'm using the knowledge I have of our catalog of accessioning to determine how I'm storing these in her collection to begin with.
Staples later.
Staples later. And we wouldn't do that if all we had was 6 small files. You and I would be doing all of the preservation at one
As
time.
we were going, yeah.
But because we know we have such a large collection, and that we could probably really, and I'm refolding this newsletter.
Oh, you
I
are?
mean this newspaper,
Oh, okay.
but I am trying to get some
Do
of
you
it.
need the bone folder for that?
Well, not yet.
Okay.
I don't know if, I could be doing more harm.
Well, I was weighing that out too,
And what did your decision?
that there isn't any harm I'm doing by using this bone folder.
Okay.
Because I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, enough pressure to kind of get the fold out, but not enough pressure to like damage the document. But newspaper is a different type of paper, so I'm not sure how that would work.
Well, there are newspapers here that we really have no idea how they relate to us, but I'm not getting rid of them yet.
Okay.
I'll wait until maybe that preservation piece and we can scan the whole newspaper differently. So I'm just kind of trying to get them in fourth.
Whoops. One folder down. All right, so I'm at personal, and I'm going to keep the cards all in one folder.
Yes, that's a good idea. And would you want a rubber band, or do you think they'd be good that way? Rubber bands could hurt the edges, or it may help.
I'm also thinking, so we don't have a bulky folders, maybe lining them up side by side, making 2 stacks and putting it in the folder.
Good idea.
Now, do you want me to put personal and specify cards on this?
Oh, that's what I was going to show you, what I did with that notebook.
Okay.
I used this large a note so I could write an actual note.
Okay.
And I should have signed this. I'll take it out now, and I'm going to sign it and date it.
Mm-hmm.
Who I am and what year, so that if nobody touches this stuff for 20 years,
They'll know what's been done.
they'll know why we did it this way.
Okay.
So I put that it's the PI handwritten notes, because it's going to be, I put committees down here, so
Yes.
it might be disorganized, and then it's Trish C and box 2. That's the box you and I are working on, is
Okay.
box 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do, and then put initials and date.
Okay, so what would you have me do with a
Personal.
note for this? And
It'd
cards?
be personal,
Okay.
cards, and because you're making that's the manila folder, right?
Yes.
Or you're gonna put them in one of these, because you could put them in a document protector too.
And that might
Half
be a
and
good
half.
idea. Okay, what
What-
else did you write on there, Trish?
Then Trish C box 2.
Okay.
Let me get you 2 document protectors. Here they
And you want me to put my name on it?
Yeah, you can use your first name and initial,
Date it also?
and date it, so that because there are many times I look at stuff and wonder why.
Mm-hmm. So
And
would you suggest that
do about half and then fold it over to
Okay,
about the size,
Perfect.
and then the other half in that
Okay.
one. Get that out of there, you know.
Now, do you want me to put this note on top of the folder or
I
on top
put
of
it
the...
inside my
Okay,
bag.
got it.
I even did it inside the bag, because somebody could throw away my bag.
Oh, good
before
point.
it could come off the bag or whatever.
So should I do one for each bag
Yeah,
then?
one for each bag.
Okay,
Then I want to show you something I've just discovered.
okay. And I'm going to mark 1 of 2
Yes.
and 2 of 2.
Yes. Good idea.
Okay, and I'm ready for my next stack of cards.
And that one, because that big card might not fit half sideways.
Yeah,
I bet it doesn't.
how about I just put them in
Yeah,
like this?
that'll be good.
I'll put the note inside and then I'll be done with that. put this note inside here. If I can finagle it.
And then before you move on, I want to show you something.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, when I was doing PI, because you and I ran across all that Al-Anon
Yes.
stuff, then we separated it out. But this was still in PI because we know we do Al-Anon.
Yes.
So then I looked at the back thinking, well, maybe it's AA literature. And I think the way you and I got it into the PI was right there. It's copyrighted by
Oh,
Alcoholics Anonymous Grapevine. But it's actually Alateen doing it and World Services. So now I'm going to, I mean, nothing's been finalized, but it's going to go into the
PI.
Al-Anon
Oh, into
and
Al-Anon.
not into PI.
Okay.
Even though we saw Grapevine on it, it's just that this is copyrighted from
Okay,
them.
got it. Still
So
an
that's how
Al-Anon
come it's going
document.
in Al-Anon. And look at my hands.
Oh my God.
I'm changing gloves now.
I've already changed gloves once.
Right. The newsletters, I believe, is what did me in. Our newspapers.
Now, at the point, do you want me to take these out of the envelopes? Actually,
It becomes,
this is a box
And-
459, but it's her personal.
it's your
So we're
personal,
sti-
so
we're
we would
keeping-
keep it in personal
Should
then.
I keep it in the envelope?
I would,
Okay.
because it gives the later archivist a time and a date and a place.
I like that.
And that's what a researcher will need, is that kind of information.
Got it. I guess I don't need these readers now that I'm not doing staples.
It's on top of the
Oh,
plastic
thank
bin.
you.
Okay, this is supposed to fit Life magazine, so you sure as darn tootin' you better fit the other guys too. Oh, but you have to do it one at a time. I might actually need you, Cindy, to help me.
Yes.
Keep it still. See, it is actually wide enough.
Keep the document still or the?
Keep the plastic still so I
Okay.
can get to the top of where it's supposed to go. Did I get in the
Got it.
plastic?
Yep, you're in.
Okay, so now I gotta feed it in slowly. So sometimes this job takes two people.
I can see that. There we go.
So it just fits, and we saved this because you saw the article.
Oh, it's right here. Inland boating brings adventure, serenity. So I'm guessing that the serenity is a cue.
It has something
Yeah.
to do with it.
Yeah.
And then there was a magazine, evidently in the 90s, Sober Times,
Never heard of it.
America's favorite recovery magazine.
Now, this is an NA pamphlet that we're keeping in with personal. The
Yes.
staples on this are pretty bad.
Do you want to remove them now?
I think I would.
Would you feel better?
I would
Then
feel better.
It's that
I'll
kind
come
of.
down here and do
Oh,
it.
all right. It's kind of that kind of thing. Is
Yeah,
it becomes individualized and a sense.
yeah, and these are so bad. It's almost like the challenge of it, you know, getting
Right.
getting it out.
Now here's a Hazelden
Now I
one.
need the readers again. Sorry.
Yeah. Just the minute you took them off, you
Yep,
needed them again.
Of course, that's the way it goes.
Wow.
What?
It's a Hazelden book on the language of the heart by Peter Converse McDonald, one person's interpretive guide to the 12th step of Alcoholics Anonymous, and discusses what it means to have a spiritual awakening, and it's from Hazelden.
Wow.
Now I'm going to go ahead and put the Saturday Evening Post piece of paper she's got here in, but in all honesty, we have that actual article, so I wouldn't need to. But I just feel it's part of her collection and I'm leaving it for now. And
These old staples are really a challenge.
yes, the older ones really are. Of course, I don't think anyone was visioning you and I saving this. There's a word called ephemeral. Ephemeral. And it says what it means is to have a short lifetime. The people who did these things didn't expect you and I to be sitting here taking staples out.
All these years later.
Right. They thought they were going to last a short time. But in archives, we take that word and
There we go. That came up.
and preserve it for 80 years from now. Somebody can research what was going on in this era. Now, mine has to say publications, media. I have something to give back to you too,
To me?
that I think needs to go in her personal.
Okay.
Her story. We'll get a document protector for right now because it's on a floppy.
Yes.
I can't say that we could get rid of it. I know I don't have a floppy drive now to play it on.
I haven't even seen a floppy drive in decades.
But I don't know what someone else will have, so we're gonna save it since it says it's her story.
Oh.
We're not
I
gonna.
was thinking of the big 3x5
No,
floppy.
this isn't floppy. Well, this was called what? A hard. The one was floppy, so this was a hard disk or something.
I don't remember what we called them. It's been that long.
Yes. So we don't know, but we will save it.
Okay, and I am going to, since I went through the trouble of the staples, I'm going to try to straighten this out a little bit.
Okay, and I'm just gonna do publications.
Well, I'm going to fold this over. It's a pamphlet, so
Okay.
the staple's gone. All right.
And I'd like to state that mine are all oversized. So my vision right now of the box, when we put this stuff in, is there's always about an inch on top of the manila folders. These will lay on top of the manila folders because they're too big to fit
Okay. Got it.
without affecting all the rest of the files.
Now, what about something like this? It's just a sheet of paper and it's in a protective cover. Do we keep it like that?
No, and especially the condition of the
Yeah.
plastic folder.
Yeah.
And there's so much there that is to Trish and Lou that we all need to be in these.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed out of place.
Yes.
Okay, this just has one staple, so I am gonna.
You're going to remove it. I know once you start, it's like, wait,
It's
I'm
hard
putting it
not
away
to.
wrong.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Here, let me get that out of your way.
No worries.
I'm gonna take the international.
And this is a very tiny staple. It was like done with one of those miniature
Oh.
staplers. But actually, it's a little bit easier, believe it or not.
Okay. What city is this? This is San Diego. She has quite a bit of information from San Diego.
I see that.
So, that's Al-Anon, that's the San Diego AA Everywhere. That's two of them. AA Everywhere Advanced Program Guide. Those are both advanced program guides. This is from Patty Cole, to Patty Cole. And it has to do with Patty Cole's ticket to somewhere. Oh, it's for this person, Patty Cole's whole reservation for San Diego, whoever Patty Cole was.
Okay, I've had my fun with the staples because there's so many more. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave those
You
for
surrender?
future. Yeah.
This is that point at which we surrender again on a daily basis, right?
Now, I found another card in the middle of the document, so I think I'm gonna put them in the card
go
file.
back with your
Yeah.
cards. Okay, this is Tricia and Lou's, and it's not open. And Joe Custard. Maybe it was a family event.
Now, should I leave this little Post-it note on here? It's dated. And it's got this crud on the back, like rubber band.
I would get the
rid of
icky
that.
rubber
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. Well, the rubber band was around the Post-it, and that's probably what's holding, well,
Oh,
look
it
at
is.
that, yeah,
Maybe make a new Post-it that says you're rewriting a Post-it.
okay,
And keep it in her personal.
yes,
And I think the envelopes about the international,
mm-hmm,
because she's got other people's stuff here, Joe Custard and Patty Cole, we're going to put that in personal. You know, because it's,
yeah, I've got the personal folder I'm
right,
working on.
we're gonna
now.
let you, and this doesn't look open, but it doesn't look like anything's in it either. I'm right, it's empty envelope. We're not gonna keep the empty envelope.
No,
Oh, here's Joe L. Custard. Oh,
who's that?
that's one of the envelopes.
It
So-
must've been a relative.
Must have been a relative,
we
and
should
it's
keep
the
that in personal?
Alateen.
Huh.
So, what we'll do, interpersonal, we're gonna make just one slim folder,
Put the right one.
international
Box two.
San Diego, because there's personal folder. Okay, so these, cause we don't know who these people are, but evidently they're family. So we will put that all,
Okay, so I have rewritten it, the Post-it rather,
mm-hmm,
and, I'm throwing the old one that has
Yeah. get rid of it.
a rubber band that's seen finer days.
This will end up in your personal folder,
Okay.
right there.
Alrighty.
Okay, so, this is all we have for internationals, now that we did that. I'm assuming that by the time we get done with all 6 boxes,
On this.
she'll have like 6 more internationals that will actually fill this international folder.